Hello, everybody. Welcome to a somewhat spur of the moment Trusty's live chat. I don't even really have a name for it because what I need to do fairly seriously, fairly soon, is start planning the fundraiser for the Just One More Dachshund Rescue organization. So I brought in Dawn, Dawn is with Prince. Hi, Prince.
Aww. Hi, Prince.
So I brought Dawn in. She is the head of the Just One More Dachshund Rescue organization. So she is the organization that benefits from the fundraiser. We did our first one last November, and we will do the next one also in November. And then I also asked Katie to join because Katie is just always very full of ideas for what's going on in the vintage community. And she also had hosted Dawn on her channel and did a little show and tell where Dawn got the unique option of show and telling her actual live collection as well as her vintage collection of Dachshunds. And and Dawn and Katie also has Louie, her pug, so also a dog lover. I've never owned Dachshunds, but you know, I had a Dachshund on steroid. I had a Basset Hound. That is the only dog that I've ever owned is a Basset. So anyway, so what we are really going to hang out tonight, and it is a chat that I hope people will want to participate in and share, you know, ideas, their opinions as we kind of work this through. And I'm going to do a little bit of a show and tell of some of the items that I've been receiving from resellers, from viewers that are being donated to the Just One More Dachshund Rescue. And so I won't be selling them tonight. So this is not a sale. So I apologize for anyone looking for sale. This one is not a sale. But if you want to buy anything, you can. You just let me know. And then I'll just set the money aside. So it'll be part of the still go to the organization. So we're just going to kind of hang out tonight. So we got Cheryl Ross is saying hi. A lot of other things going on tonight. So no worries. Quality over quantity. And there's Clyde. Clyde here's we're talking about dogs, and Clyde wants to know what's going on. Clyde's like, where is the fundraiser for Clyde? So, Clydesdales is a whole nother thing, Clyde. So we are going to do just kind of discuss the Just One More Dachshund. So if you're newer to my channel or to Katie's channel or to Just One More Dachshund and you did not see the fundraiser last November, give a little bit of a background behind it. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
A little bit of a background behind it. So it started last year was the first year that Trusty Huckster Mercantile was involved. The organization dates back to when, Dawn?
It'll be 3 years in September.
Okay. So Dawn and I used to work together in my previous life, and she still works for that company. I do not. And at the time I knew her, it was dogs. I think I helped her get, I wrote the letter of reference to help her get dogs, I think 4 and 5. Yep. And that was Suki and Gemma.
Yep.
So we all thought she was crazy, that she was going to bring in 5 Dachshunds into her home, but we knew she could do it, wrote a great letter of reference. And then little did I know, it was like she just became a little hoarder of Dachshunds. And it kind of grew. And then so several years after that, where the organization came about, the Just One More Dachshund, so JOMDR.org. The organization, the rescue came about. And you had already started rescuing seniors at that point?
Yeah, I actually, I rescued five seniors from Sugarface's Senior Dog Rescue. So I had never even thought about adopting a senior dog before. And a friend of mine runs that rescue, and it's all breeds. So every time we found a senior dachshund, I volunteered and became a foster fail and ended up with 5 seniors. And I still have 2 of them. So
which 2 are still from that part?
Sherman and Rosalita.
Excellent. And Sherman, if you've watched any of the deep dives or any of the chats before, Sherman is the one who was in the Dog Bowl in what, 2018?
Yep. And he's, was it 2019? No, I don't know. 2018 or 19. He
was in 18, and I think you said then he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 19.
19, yeah.
So he's a Hall of Famer. So that's Sherman. And you've got Prince. So is he one of your seniors?
He's actually from the rescue. He was one of the first ones, and he's just kind of a sanctuary dog. He's an old guy. No one was really interested in adopting him. So he's He's hanging out with me. He just had a dental, so he's got, I think, 3 teeth left.
Oh,
Yeah. He just pretty much sleeps and eats and sleeps some more.
he's a darling little fella.
That is the life of a senior. So it's great
Yeah.
that you are giving seniors their giving them comfort toward the end. So a couple more people joined. So Susan Way has joined us. Annette Fain has joined us. Annette, actually, I will be showing. Annette has actually sent some items for the fundraiser. So I will be showing those. Soul Nate's coming in from New Zealand. So appreciate you joining us. And yes, there is a pretty major sale going on right now. I've always done this slot at 7 o'clock and do something. So like you said, if the people are missing the live, it's fine. They can watch the replay. And I hope they do, because I do like the live, because we can actually kind of debate or discuss, some of the suggestions or ideas. But if people are watching this on the replay, thank you so much for watching. Definitely support jomdr.org, and you can help doing it as part of the fundraiser in November. So when we did the fundraiser this past November, we ended up raising over $3,500. So it was way beyond my expectations. And one of the kind of primary impetus behind that was a lot of the resellers kind of jumped on board and donated mystery boxes. So I'm trying to remember, Dawn, was it a $5 donation got you a drawing entry into the drawing? I think it was $5.
It was 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe, yes.
So, and I don't think we did like the multiple thing. It was just $5. Like if you wanted 5 of them, you paid $25. I don't think we did multiples, just $5. But for every $5, and that was partially because then we could make it easier. If you donated $55, you got 11 entries. Like we didn't have to worry about weird math. We ended up raising actually over half of the money that we raised of the 3,500 came from the donation raffle for the tickets for the mystery boxes, because as the event or concept grew, what I had feared that I wouldn't get more than 10 people to donate. It was a new thing. We had, I wasn't a fully established channel. I'm still not a fully established channel compared to some people. And I just really didn't know who would want to participate. And it just basically started snowballing. And so we had started selling tickets. At the time we were selling tickets, we just said, we do not know how many boxes we're going to get, but if you win, you will get all of the boxes that were donated. Well, that became silly at some point, but we'd already said it. We'd already said, if you win, you were going to get all of the boxes. And I felt it was really bad to go back and change that for anyone who'd already bought tickets. So we just said, okay, well, someone's going to get a really good prize. And that prize ended up being 35 mystery boxes, all won by one person. So Kim from Oh My Vintage won all of her mystery boxes. I do not think it's a coincidence that she has now started doing live sales and she's selling a lot of what she got in those boxes. But she was very gracious. And what she also did, which was not expected at all, she also started doing unboxing videos of everything she received, so that some of the resellers, we gave them recognition at the time they donated, and through the fundraiser, she kind of kept giving people recognition. And every time she does a fundraiser, she tags the rescue as well. So people are, people are getting more exposure. The other half of the money that was raised was through items that people donated that I just sold on my channel. Again, my channel wasn't huge. It was a great sale. A lot of people attended it, but I don't do offer ups in general. I wasn't using my eBay channel at that time, or my eBay store. So I kind of started putting things into bundles. So if I got 5 different donations, all with a golden retriever, it became the golden retriever lot. And so the item was actually sold. That raised the other half of the money. And that meant I had a lot of things to ship. So shipping took about 2 months to chase everyone down for payment and then actually be able to ship everything out, because we drew people from outside the quote unquote traditional vintage community for the live sales. People were coming in from the Doxie. So the things I wanted to talk about for this year is kind of twofold. So we're going to get Dawn's perspective on it for the she loves vintage. I almost called her vintage. I didn't mean that.
I am vintage.
But she does love her vintage, but I think as she promotes it in the Doxie world, they're not necessarily vintage specific. So kind of like, how do we attract that market? And then Katie was very involved as we were planning it, and then she helps me run my sales, so she knows how it works. So the first I want to discuss is what do we think the best way, and I do want feedback. So anyone who's watching in the chat, definitely throw in your items. See, Book Bewitched has joined. Cheryl from Vintage Love and Nerd has joined. Helen Casey, who has also donated. Helen has also made donations to the coming fundraiser. Let me know your thoughts, because at this point, I do not think we're going to do. I'm just going to say we are not going to do one winner for everything, because I am hoping to have at least maybe not all the same resellers, but at least the same number of resellers participate. So the question ends up being, if you were going to buy a $5 ticket, hey, Tammy, if you were going to buy a $5 ticket for a chance to win mystery boxes, I do believe, and this is also Katie and Dawn have no idea what I'm talking about. Like we didn't schedule an agenda for this, so I feel it needs to be more than one, because I don't put any prerequisites in what the mystery box is. So as Kim showed when she was opening them, in some cases the reseller sent one item, which was fantastic. It was one item. It was perfectly nice. But then somebody else sent a box with like 15 items, and I will say the box that I sent, but because I kind of organized it, but the box that I sent Kim was worth over $100. So I can't put that requirement on the people that participate. All I'm going to put to the resellers is you are going to be responsible for shipping a mystery box. And they do end up paying for all the shipping. That's why we limited it to US customers, because just shipping to Canada is just too expensive and it was not reasonable. We might try and do like a secondary one for Canada, but that'll be a smaller gift because there will be resellers that won't want to deal with that. Or you might get a postcard. Like you may just not get much of a value. So I do think it needs to be more than one box. If you are going to donate $5, do you feel the chance to win 5 boxes is enough of a prize? I'm leaning toward 10, but nothing more than that. So I'm kind of hovering in that 5 to 10. So Susan is saying draw as many times as you have boxes. So my issue with that is I will not know the value of the boxes ahead of time. So it is just a raffle, or just a chance. We don't call it a raffle. It is just a chance. So like it wouldn't necessarily be an issue, but you then do kind of run into the problem that if we end up with 50 winners, we will have 50 different people with very different valued boxes. And because of that, I don't think we'd get as many people to buy the tickets. I feel like, and Dawn, you know the number, because those donations went straight to JMDR. I was not involved in that at all. I want to say you were giving me kind of a running tally leading up to the sale, but I want to say you started seeing way more donations as the sale came very close, because you started announcing, well, now you're going to win 25. Now you're going to win 30. Now you're going to win 35. And I do think it encouraged people to even buy more tickets, because the prize was so massive that I think people did want to participate. It's suddenly like, you may not buy a lottery ticket when it's 100 million, but you will buy the lottery tickets when it's 600 million. So it's like, what does the threshold need to be to get people to give up $5? You're still helping a cause. So Tammy Renee Walker is saying 5. Helen is saying 5. Tammy's reinforcing the 5. What were you going to say, Katie?
And I think 5 is plenty. And you could do something like 5 for 5. $5 for the chance to win 5 boxes.
Oh, I like that from a marketing standpoint. I will say, was this? So Susan's saying, okay, 10 for first 5, second 3 for 3, 1 box. Oh God, that's math, and that might kill us. I will say, from a practical standpoint, like I wanted to throw out the ideas. From a practical standpoint, what is going to end up happening is, like, if we did 10, my biggest fear is I end up with, say, 41 resellers that donate boxes. I would have to make up the other 9. So at least if it's 5, the worst case scenario, I'd only have to make up 4, or I could guilt a couple people that I'm sure would help me and do more than 1 box. But the threshold to get to sets of 10 does concern me a little bit. But I will be perfectly honest, I don't think winning 5 is enough of a gift, is enough of a prize. So that's what I'm going. So, okay. So what's Boopy Witch is saying, look at how people go bananas over the mystery boxes. I say 5 for 5, simple and done. And there is definitely merit to
because people go bananas for just one box on your sale or Fabric Finds or anyone that's doing mystery boxes. I think people just want the chance to win something, you know?
All right. So for the, you know, again, I will definitely continue to receive comments because we're not going to necessarily decide anything tonight, but you know, Dawn is going to be the final arbiter of what we do, because to a certain extent, she's got to make sure everything we do is legal. You know, how we handle it. That's why we're not calling it a raffle. That's why we're not going to handle any auctions or offer ups, because there is a question about that. This is a 501c3 organization, and we have to follow the laws, you know, established for that. So I don't think the difference between 5 or 10 changes anything. So it does, and 5 is the one that probably makes sense. So we got another Terp in the house. Hey, Chad.
Hi, Chad.
So maybe 5. And so, okay, so Cheryl is saying, oh, and they do arrive at different times. You're right. Because that's the other thing. I had no control. I would just, what ended up happening, again, just a little bit on the logistics side, what ended up happening the night of the fundraiser, we pulled the name. Dawn sent me privately the information. We announced who won it, but she sent me privately the information of her address, which I actually already had. But I then sent a private message to the 35 resellers who had, and some of them weren't even resellers. Some of them were just friends of Dachshunds that wanted to, you know, give something. I just sent it out to the 35 of those and just said, you need to start sending out your boxes. I think I then waited probably 2 weeks, and I was touching base with Kim. And after like 2 weeks, you know, she had maybe 20 of the boxes. So a lot of people sent them right away. And then it ended up kind of being unplanned. It did end up meaning that some of those boxes were like still trickling in over a couple of weeks. So she would just get a box. Yeah. It's like you go to your mail, you just hope you get another box. So yes, there is kind of a cool, and even just getting 5, you would still have that benefit. But it would work the same way. I would just, indifferently, is I would pre-assign I'd pre-assign the individual resellers, probably just do it based on when they agree to do it, because I don't want to get into a game saying like, okay, well, I want to pick these 5 resellers in this batch, and now I need to find another set of 5 resellers that are comparable, because I don't want people comparing and contrasting. Like, well, wait a minute, I didn't get a Trusty box. Wait a minute, I didn't get a Katie box. Not everyone's going to get a Katie box. Not everyone's going to get I'm totally putting Katie on the hook for sending a box. We did last year.
But I'm happy to do it again.
And I, of course, will participate. I will send one. But, you know, if you're only getting 5, you're not going to know who you're getting them from. Does that matter? Will there be people, like, I do feel there was some attraction that last year Misty was sending a box. Katie was sending a box, like a lot of resellers. And when anyone said they were going to participate, we made sure they got some PR on it. So I do think there might've been some people that said, hey, I could get a box from, you know, some really big name. You wouldn't get that in sets of 5. So does that change anybody's answers?
Well, I think maybe you don't advertise at first who donated the boxes. You just say boxes. And then at the end, to prevent that from happening, you could say, I want to thank everyone that donated a mystery box.
The only thing I don't like about that is I do want to be very respectful as a YouTuber and as a reseller myself. I want to make sure these people are getting as much marketing as they can. And that's basically what I said in the beginning. I'm like, look, tell me up front you want to do it, because then you'll be in every post I give. One of the resellers, I won't say which one, but if anyone wanted to do the research, it would have been pretty easy to figure it out. One of the resellers agreed to do it the day of the fundraiser. Like, that's great. You're getting no promotion, like, at all. I basically read all the names that night, but because they didn't do it, there wasn't an advance. So but I could do it, and then it is kind of like luck. It is luck of the draw. I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, I got the grand prize because I got, you know, reseller X's box, and I got the booby prize because I didn't, you know. But it would be, hey, someone is going to get a Katie box. And if you've seen Katie's boxes, you want a Katie box, you know? So it's like, it's kind of, but, and so, okay. So we're still saying, so 5 is still enough. 5 for 5 still works. So, okay. So it's not changing the people that weighed in. So I think we're good with that. I think I will still do the marketing aspect. We'll talk separately because again, I want to make sure I work with Dawn, who's also doing promotions and also putting stuff out. We just want to make sure when people participate, even if you were just a lover of dachshunds, you still like if you had an Instagram channel, we'd still tag your Instagram channel. You know, make sure people have a little bit of benefit for participating in this. And then, of course, for anyone who's listening who might want to participate, it is a 501c3 organization. So Dawn is able to set up, provide a letter that if somebody does a donation, particularly something like the mystery box, because you're not receiving any, what's the term, Dawn? It's like you're not receiving anything as a part of the donation. So it's like a pure donation. Right. So you can write off the whole challenge if you do your taxes. So hopefully that'll raise just as much money. I'm hoping. What do you think, Dawn? What do you think a reasonable goal should be?
Well, you said since we're sticking with fives, let's say 5,000.
That's my goal. 5,000 is my goal. We raised 3,500 last year. If we can do 5,000 this year, I think that'd be fantastic. And I think we can organize it a little bit more. I felt we did promote it pretty well, but it's like it was the first time. So not everyone realized what it would do. So the other half of the money, the one thing we're going to be doing is I have been using my eBay channel to do actual auctions. And so I think I'm going to do that this time as well. So some of the items that I'm receiving, people that want to donate items, you can look at any of my videos. I have a friend mail address, a PO box, so you can send me anything you want, and I am starting to receive them. But I'll probably do at this point. I'm thinking that if you do not have to send dog related items, but if you send non-dog related items, I'm thinking that might be what moves onto the eBay channel, just because that way the live sale. First of all, the live sale was very long. I was very tired by the time the live sale. All the dogs had fallen asleep. I'm thinking that because some people will be joining this who are not into just vintage, they're into it because of the dogs, that maybe the live sale portion is all the dog stuff. So it's still gonna be vintage, but it'll be all the dog theme. So I decided to show some of the stuff. So these are things that I picked up. This I actually picked up this week. So I'll just show some things that I've got wearing. So this one doesn't happen to be Doxie related, but little planter, a little what was this one? A UCTCI. I can't remember what that logo is. Katie.
Oh, is it Ucago?
No, it's not Ucago.
Oh man, I've seen that sticker before.
Let's see the H. I've had it sideways. Let's go this way because the H.
Oh,
no, can't go that way. It's like, I'm not sure. I've seen it before. I just can't remember. I've
seen it too, and I can't remember. But
yeah, I can look it up. Like this, literally, I just got this with this last trip, so I haven't really researched anything. I haven't cleaned him or anything. Something like this. I'm not even sure 100% what dog breed that is. So that's the other thing that, as a question. So I obviously am going to have Doxie related items. So we've got a little Doxie redware ashtray. So his little tail is the ashtray. So just got a little tongue sticking out, like some of Dawn's dogs do. Not marked, but it is redware. Like a lot of the Doxie stuff, I think will end up in the live sale. So the question is, when you get to things like, I've got this Cocker Spaniel figurine, which I just picked up. I mentioned Annette Fain, who might still be in the chat. Annette had donated some other Cocker Spaniel items. No, hers are Golden Retriever. Anyway, I think that's a Cocker Spaniel. So the question would end up being, what I did last year, I would combine all of the same breeds into a bigger lot. And I've already had a couple of people tell me, like, oh, no, you should mix it up because a lot of people like a lot of different dogs. I think we're going to make more money if we keep it breed specific, because if you like Cocker Spaniels, assuming that's what that is, if you like Cocker Spaniels, you're going to pay more for a full lot of Cocker Spaniels than if you're going to get a Cocker Spaniel and an Afghan Hound and a something else. Mm-hmm. So Katie, you said you agree keeping the breed. All right, Tammy Renee is also agreeing.
I think so, because people have a certain breed already at home, or they're had family that had a certain breed, like when they were growing up. And for me, I'm always looking for pug things.
There you go.
So I think that really does help when you're keeping things breed specific.
I mean, there will be exceptions. So like this was a donation from a viewer. She's actually helped me in sales before. She's the huckster handler. She's my theater wife. So she had donated the big book of dogs. So this one's all dog breed. So there's going to be some things that would mix them up, or there's going to be things like that planter I showed. I don't know what he is. Like, maybe he's a specific breed, but like I think in some cases, like a mutt grouping could be attractive. Just because
that would be great, like a rescue group.
Exactly. So it's like because in some cases, people just like dogs, and so yes, they might like a group of maybe 5 or 6 different items. I just don't think that will get as much money. So that's the difference. Where if we've got an entire lot of pug items, Katie is going to be fighting everyone tooth and nail to get that. So some of those, and that's where then I'll have to decide. So let's use this. I will not be doing auctions on my live sale. So would a lot of pug items, would that do better in a eBay auction so that the best person wins? Or do we just say, here's a price and it's a fundraiser, so you shouldn't be looking to pay only $1 a figurine?
Well, I think if it's vintage pug items, for example, pugs are pretty hard to come by when you're talking vintage. So I think maybe putting those kinds of items on eBay would be unique because people haven't seen that kind of thing before, or they don't see them often. So maybe they could command a little bit more money for the fundraiser.
Excellent. What do you think, Dawn, just from and let's just say in some cases we will obviously have Doxie items. So then would the Doxie items be better to be one at a time, so we would have more winners and they'll be fighting to get the item? Or should we do like a Doxie lot too?
I think with the Dachshund items, have those one at a time. But the other, like all the pug items together, all the golden together. And then if you have like one of certain breeds, maybe do like a mixed lot.
And thank you, Katie, for answering the question. So yes, I will edit the description of this video to be the same description as all my others. But if you go to any of my old videos or you just go into my YouTube About section, there is a PO box for friend mail. Go ahead and send anything that you want to donate. Please just tell me who you are, because there is one item I'm going to have to literally send a letter to the return address of who sent this, because this came in. It's a little stained glass window hanging. It's completely flat on the back, and then it's only raised on this side. So it's not like a true stained glass, but obviously it's got that look, and it's the hot dog dressed in his little German lederhosen, clearly. Absolutely adorable. Unfortunately, there was nothing inside. There was nothing that indicated who sent it to me. The only thing I have, which I luckily had, I won't show it. I almost did. I won't show it. Luckily, when I ripped the bag open, I didn't tear. I came very close to tearing through the actually return address. But the return address is a last name that I do not recognize from an address from a city I've never shipped to. So it's a viewer. So that is fantastic. I absolutely love receiving from anything, but I want to be able to, either, give a shout out, say thank you. So this goes to a person whose last name is Dunn, D-U-N-N, who happens to live in the suburbs of Chicago and Illinois. So thank you so much. But I want to be able, and if you want to have a letter of donation, I think, I think this will sell. Like, there's no question that this is going to sell. So maybe they just thought, it's not big. So they didn't tell, they just didn't feel like it necessary to tell me who they were. So they're being kind of anonymous, but not totally anonymous, because the return address was on here. So yes, I thought that was cute. I mentioned Annette earlier. She had sent some others. She also followed up with these. These are a set of stickers. I actually purchased this exact set, probably from the same place that Annette found them, because they're absolutely adorable. And what I did with them last year, I gave one of these stickers in every person who claimed an item. So I probably, if Annette is okay with that, I probably will not sell these. I will use these kind of as an incentive sticker that people get these as part of their purchase. And then any that I had left over, I actually mailed the rest of them to Dawn so she could use them in like gift baskets and stuff like that for fundraisers that she does throughout the year.
And
so
Annette said, sure.
Excellent. So thank you. And I didn't think you'd be offended by that. Because yes, like you could buy these, but these are modern. You can find these online. So it's not like I'm breaking up a set or something that's specific. And I just think being able to have a little cute sticker in your package, it's kind of like a little bonus and encourages you to actually participate in the fundraiser. I picked this up just yesterday for the sole purpose. It's a little art card. It did have a date. Actually, this one does not have a date, but it was part of a larger set. But I bought the set because of this, and I want to say the rest of the set was dated 71. But this is it's this little circus art print, and check out right there.
Oh, there's a little doggy.
So it's like, you know, a lot of things you can have that people like, oh, I don't care about dogs. I don't collect dogs. I don't have a dog. Well, this is a cool print. It just happens to have a dog in it. So I'm going to definitely things like that need to be part of the sale too, because we want to attract as much variety. I don't know what that dog is. Like, I don't know if that falls into a mutt category. He does seem to have a long body, but I don't know. I don't think you think that's a Dachshund?
No, I don't know, Dawn. What do you think?
Could be a mix. Could be a mix, maybe.
Yeah, he's got, and even like he's got the little long tail hanging off the back. Yeah, so I thought he was cutie. So.
And you know, people collect circus things too, so that will fit in multiple categories.
Yeah, so just like the book said, I love that whole print. And actually, the rest of the series is other circus views, you know, of this circus variety. It just that happens to be the only one that actually has a little dog in the picture. So I thought they're great. And, you know, I'm not sure if there's much value. I have to do a little bit of research on them. Picked them at a garage sale, so they're relatively inexpensive. But like that would just be something people will like it because it'd be very easy to mat and frame, inexpensive to frame because it looks like it's a standard size. So, but yes, that print I think is definitely attraction. Another one that came up a lot last year were all the Scotty items. And I've already got quite a few Scotty items. This is one I picked up on a trip to Minnesota a while ago. It is a sewing kit. So it's a little cardboard. It's got, it's for Be Thrifty, use a Brooks extended charge account for New York City.
That is a cool little piece of advertising.
Yeah. So it's like, this is just one of these cases that a lot of times when you see Scotty's, you think 30s. Her skirt looks a little long. Well, I don't know. What do you think? Would that still be a 30s piece? The address doesn't have a zip code, but maybe just didn't print a zip code. So I don't know. What do you think, Katie?
I probably would say 30s or 40s. I'm also very interested in the way that guy's shoe is shaped. To me,
good point.
That's a little bit more 40s or 50s, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, but then her heel, I would say just the way the rise of her instep and the way that heel is attached at the back, that looks back to a 30s heel.
Yes.
So this is one of those weird, and this could go to the 40s too, because if, you know, I just say things like this, like, oh, if it's a Scotty, it's usually 30s. If anyone does, we'll use this as an open, sure, you can't answer, Katie, because I know you know. But if anyone knows why the Scotties became very popular in the 30s. But
the says, yes, Scotties were insanely popular in the 30s.
They were, but there's a reason, and his name was Fala. Do you know who Fala was?
I'm not going to say anything because I know.
I know you know. Okay, well, Jan knows no because she actually said Fala before I probably said Fala. So she got the Fala right. Actually, Nick and Nora Charles did not have a Scotty. they had a fox terrier. So you're on the right track and you're in kind of the right era. But Asta, why do I know this? Asta was Nick and Nora Charles's dog, and that was actually either a fox terrier or an I think it was an Airedale actually. But yes, Jan clarified it's because of FDR. Helen Casey also knew. And yes, and Jan agreed. So she also said it was a fox terrier. I'm now thinking Airedale, but they're related. Oh, excellent. First dog of the United States, Fedotus. I've never heard it put out as first dog, but I will take it. And yes. So, okay. So, a wire fox. All the terriers start looking very similar to me. So yeah, so Airedales are usually more distinctive, but I haven't seen a Nick and Nora. I haven't seen the Thin Man series in decades, so it's been a while since I've actually seen them. What is fun is Murder by Death has a Dick and Dora Charleston that are mocking Nick and Nora Charles, and they also have a dog, and I want to say theirs is an Airedale, but I'm not sure. Anyway. So yes. Oh, there we go. So TFA, you learned. We're all here to learn. And Jan is saying similar, but Airedale is bigger, which I do remember. Airedales are bigger. And
a little interesting fact about the 30s: there is a typewriter ribbon tin that has a Scotty on it from the 1930s, and I'm still looking for. And if I find 2 of them, maybe I can donate one to the fundraiser.
There you go. I actually have a typewriter tin upstairs. I have 2 bins. One is all the dog related stuff, and then the others are things that have been donated that will go to the fundraiser but are not specifically dog themed. And I do have a typewriter ribbon tin in there. This one I got fairly recently. I need to do a little bit of research on that because I don't know what he is. On the back, to me, that looks like a whip. I was going to originally say that looks like a hunting hat. But that's actually more looks like an equestrian hat. So I don't know what is that. Now that I'm seeing it, I don't know if that's a riding crop, but then why is there a long tail on it? It says on the bottom, it's Silvac. So it's made in England and Silvac pottery. And so
riding crop would make sense for England.
Right. And so I'm thinking this is some sort of a hunting dog. But I don't know what. Is it a foxhound? Because I don't know what that image. To me, that hat is something that the fox hunters would wear. You'd have the big red coats and the jodhpurs and the tall boots. That's the kind of hat they wear. But who has a whip? And then what's in the crosshairs? I don't know what the.
Kind of looks like a sword the way the handle is. And
you're right. Yeah, I thought that was part of the whip, but you're right. That could be part of the sword.
But then the whip is kind of attached to the sword thing. So that's interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know what this is. It does have
Nate. It's a whip and a bugle.
Oh, a whip and a bugle. Okay, well then who are we whipping in hunting? Is that what you do to the bunnies once you find them? You whip them to death?
Oh boy.
So I do believe it's some sort of fox hunting or some sort of hunting kit. And I do believe that, although a bugle, I thought the bugles were more like the big turned, curving bugle.
Yes. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, it does have a model number on the bottom. It's 3274. So I need to look it up. It might tell me what that is. And I don't know, people just recognize the dog breed. The profile.
It does.
To me, that does not look like a foxhound.
It kind of looks like a lab.
Oh, Nate's saying English bugles are straight.
Okay.
Hi, Peterson.
And so it is English, so that would make sense. Yeah. So Book Bewitched. I think the bugle is that straight part that starts here and then tapers down. So the mouthpiece is down here. But it's just like a straight horn. So more like medieval madrigals. You could have a big banner hanging off the bottom of it. So anyway, Silvac is a name that I kind of know. I think there's value to something like that. The Silvac name, I think, is collectible. So hopefully, okay. I don't know why I did this. I'm actually hiding the best thing I found.
Oh.
It is a 5-piece snack set in the shape of a dachshund. So you've got, it's called a snack hound. And the first piece is the Doxie head and chest. And then, so it's a snack hound. So I'm assuming you put food as opposed to planters in it. So you've got the head. You then have 3 of these little middle sections to hold snack. They're all redware. And actually the head, I think, was named. Yeah, it's Lipper and Man. So it is a marked piece. And so you get 3 pieces of the body. And then the last piece is the tail, little butt. Only the head is marked, but they all go together. I considered not getting it because there's a tiny little chip. But when you put the body part against it, you really don't see it. Like, you can barely tell. So, take a little brown magic marker and cover it up. So this is one of those cases that I need to do a little research, need to see if this is common. If this is not, okay, so Peterson's saying only seen one of those before. So if this is not common, this might end up going on the eBay sale, just because if it's rare, I want to make sure that this gets the most money. And I will say I paid quite a bit for it. I would not have bought this if I didn't have the fundraiser coming. So hopefully it will at least, even if it doesn't recoup what I call it, it's still a donation. But I do think that he's pretty cool. And the fact he still has the Snack Hound original foil label on there, I think is cool. I know the Lipper and Man name, but I don't really know. I don't know, Katie, if you run across it very often, what era. Like, I've had some more like serving pieces, like casserole type things with like the holders, and a lot of time they're wicker. I think they're 50s, 60s, but I don't know. But
I think 50s and 60s as well. I have seen the name before, but I've never come across any pieces in person. And like Peterson says, she's thinking the pieces get separated.
Exactly. And that's why the fact, that's the other thing I need to look up. It has 5. Is it supposed to have 6? Like, I mean, to me, he's pretty long, so if like, that's why he was in the center of my piano. If you put all these pieces together, he's pretty long. So I can't imagine he had a lot of other pieces, because he would like take over your table.
Well, I mean, great for crackers, different kinds of crackers, some dip.
Yeah, the only weird one is this one. The container goes into his head. So like that hole is not very wide. So that one seems a little bit weird. Like maybe that's where you put the toothpicks or something.
I was going to say toothpicks or cocktail forks.
Yeah, because if you start putting food down there, you probably wouldn't get it back out. Like, your fingers would have a hard time grabbing anything. So yeah, maybe I like the idea of being the cocktail forks too. So I thought he was cute.
And Nate just sent me a picture of the Huntsman pieces that are on that mug that you had. So Nate was explaining that this here, if you guys can see this, is the whip that's on that. It's a traditional English whip. And then he also sent me the hunting horn. So these are used for hunting, and that's probably what those are, Patrick, on your piece there.
Okay, but I still repeat my question. What are they whipping?
That's what I would like to know.
Because I don't think, like, I ended up being fairly serious. I don't think you whip your own horse. Like, that would be the little crop, like the little stick thing that you would, like, maybe a jockey or something would use. But an entire whip like that, I don't follow fox hunting, or that type of hunting, but you're kind of in groups. And I would think if you tried to pull that whip out, you take out some of your neighbors. But okay, so Michelle's saying, though, it is for the horse.
That's very long. I've never seen one of those.
Like, I've seen for the horse, if it's you're a coachman, like a coachman whip.
Sure.
And those typically I don't think they're super, super long. So Michelle's saying it's for both direction and speed. Jan's remembering a phrase, the whipper The whipper in. Oh, I don't think I've heard that phrase in hunting. So she's going to look that up. And so Nate's saying, yes, it is for the horse.
I'm learning something new.
Oh, and somebody just looked up the prices. Todd, thank you, Todd, for joining us. Looked on eBay, saw 3. One was starting at 18, and the other will buy it now at 35 to 40. So, okay, I was kind of hoping it'd go for at least 25 to 30, because again, from the rarity, and this was the merit. Now, from your perspective, Dawn, would your Doxie lovers, would they may not care that it's from the 50s or the 60s? Like, would they buy it just because it's a Dachshund, or would they get hung up on the fact that it's old and not like it?
Because it's a Dachshund. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. We had a couple other Dachshund things come in. So this one came from, I don't think she's on the chat. So this came from Gabrielle White. She and I actually debated these when she was going to send them to me because, to be perfectly honest, I feel they're typos. But they're not. They were designed this way. They're Dachshund through the snow. But that's not remotely how you spell Dachshund. There's like a couple letters missing. So obviously the plan dashing through the snow, but they have the Dachshund on here. So that's what they're trying to say. I just don't know why they're saying it. So they're Dachshund through the snow, or Dachshund through the snow. Have you seen these before, Dawn?
Yeah, I actually have. I have that. Even though it's spelled wrong.
I was going to say, are they all spelled this way, or are these like the rejects?
I've seen the misspelling. I've seen it spelled different ways. So I don't know if it's because it's made maybe overseas.
Yeah, this one says it's Frankie Gray is all it says. I don't recognize. I mean, these are modern.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They might be a few years old, but they're certainly not vintage. And they've got kind of like the little lid is actually kind of nice. It's got a big slide on it. So they're nice pieces. Like, so at no point am I trying to, diss the pieces, but it was literally like she was trying to describe what they said. I'm going, they say what? No, what? No, that's not how you spell Dachshund. So it's like they tried to keep the word Dachshund and they just spelled it differently so it fit with dashing. So it's a great item, Gabrielle, that donated. So again, and then that would be a case like in your case, Dawn, and Katie's opinion as well. Would that be something you would sell as a pair because you donated 2, or would you sell do the first 2 people that want one and just sell them individually?
Individually, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, this to me seems like a loner thing. Like, this is not something you're sitting at a coffee table chatting with somebody. You need a pair.
Yes, I think if one person wants one, there'll probably be another because they're so clever, and that play on words is kind of fun, even though Dachshund isn't spelled right.
No, you can't overthink it. Like somebody was just trying to be cute.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to get dashing through the snow.
All right, so the Kitschy cat had a relative that had dogs. So evidently the brother traded on the Catwoman and had 5 Dachshunds. Well, it's funny. There's another reseller, Toledo Antiques, had seen one of the pictures. I did a live video with Dawn a couple months ago. I was out in Maryland, and the picture was of me with 4 or 5 of the Dachshunds, like just the ones that were sitting on my lap or around me. They were like leaping to their deaths. It was very bizarre. But he made a comment, and he's just like, he's like, I have more than you do. But the chat was, these were only like 5 of the, I think at the time you had 17. As like, and he basically was like, I have more than that. And I'm like, you have more than 17? Are you insane? He's like, oh no, I have more than 5. Where did the 17 come from? So there are many Doxie lovers out there. This also came from a viewer, the Huckster Handler. She had found this, and I just loved
that's cute.
The form of this one. It's a vintage Mark Japan, little Dachshund little begging Dachshund. And you don't see these very often because they end up so tall when they're begging. He's a little top heavy. So he's a cutie.
He's adorable.
And so and this is something Dawn talked a little bit in the show and tell. What do you come across most often? Do you come across, is this considered a short hair?
Yes.
Is that what you come across the most often?
Yes. Yep.
Do they do much with wire hair? What are the options? There's short hair,
Short hair,
long hair,
and wire hair.
and
Not a lot of wire hair. Short hair is definitely most popular.
is
Long
it
hair
because
as
that's the
well.
most popular version of the breed, just because it's easier to make?
I think it's because I don't know if it's the most popular of the breed now. I think long hair are getting more popular, but I think it's just classic. It's everyone, knows a short hair dachshund. When you think of a dachshund, you think of a short hair.
Yep.
And my aunt had 2 long-haired dachshunds, so we've always had dachshunds in the family.
I had cousins that had the short hair. So when I think of dachshunds, I think of short hair and I think of peeing on the floor because that's all they ever did. So then this one, she and I went shopping over the weekend and we were debating whether this was a dachshund.
I think
It
so.
has a long face and a kind of a long body. But what do you think? Is this a dachshund?
I think so. That's really cute.
Yeah, so it's just there's a little fake succulent in there, but like a little tiny planter. And like when she found it, she picked it up, she's like, "Is that a dachshund?" And my first answer was no. And then I'm like, "Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, that
I
nose.
think it is."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a long nose.
Yeah, that was it. When she turned, I realized how elongated it was. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. They're trying to do something with this. It's just like it's obviously it's a little bit disproportional, but I agree with Book Bewitched. It's adorbs. So she donated this to the fundraiser as well. Oh, I mentioned I had other Scotty stuff. So of course, coasters. So I'm gonna
have coasters.
Gotta have coasters, and so there's a set of 6. They're identical, but there's a set of the 6 of the Scottish Terriers in aluminum coasters. So Kitty Cat was a Dachshund Basset mix. Oh, that'd be cute. I think right now I only have 1 Dalmatian.
And Dalmatians are hard to find.
Yeah, so I've got this tiny little porcelain Dalmatian, which I thought was adorable. So I got him and another wire-haired dachshund. Now, are all dachshund tails long, or have they ever docked dachshund tails?
I don't think they've ever docked them.
Okay. So yeah, he has a long tail, but there was one I saw that had a short tail, and I wasn't sure like what that meant.
Maybe they just manufactured it differently because things in Japan sometimes don't always translate to the US. Oh, look at him.
His head spins because I had a cat that did this. His head comes off. So, in a very disturbing way, you get a disembodied dog that the head just kind of sits on the little point and then just kind of like, it's like a nodder, but there's no spring or anything. So really all it can do is go back and forth. So I don't know what he is. I wondered if that was Clifford, the big red dog. But I don't think Clifford had a white like bullseye on his tail.
I don't think so. He had a black tip on his tail, didn't he?
So I don't know. This one, he's not marked in any way. And the cat that I had seemed to be more like a homemade piece, like more like a DIY ceramics piece. And this one, based on the bottom, I'm wondering if it's the same thing. It's not been signed or anything. It's just the way it's made. I think it's more ceramic than it is porcelain.
It was very hound dog.
What's that?
He's probably a hound dog.
Yeah, that's Peterson just said the same thing, a hound dog of some sort, which I would agree with. Just in the little permanent play bow stance. I mean, I just thought he was adorable. So this was something picked up by Sherry, the huckster handler, that she was donating, because she also has 2 dachshunds, and at least one of them will probably be joining me live in the fundraiser. She promises that she's very docile and she won't pee on all the donations. So I'll see if we can hold her up to that.
Book was asking if you got a donation from her through another reseller. She bought a Dachshund figurine and it was mailed to you.
I have notes on everything that's been donated. Off the top of my head, Book, I don't remember seeing yours. That's how I got Helen's. Wait, I'm on the wrong list. Hold on. No, send me a note separately. I did start this cheat sheet late, so I missed writing yours down, but I do have big bins with notes on all the items upstairs. So I might have missed writing yours down, so I apologize. But Helen sent me a glass Dachshund from Real Nifty Vintage, and the one that I got that was mystery, I don't think it was a reseller. Based on the name and address, but this was the one that I was trying to identify. So Peterson had said the same thing, that maybe that this was from you. But if you're saying it was a figurine, I will have to go check. So I apologize. I do want to try and keep track of all of this, but admittedly, it sometimes gets a little overwhelming. But I do have. Wait, my head explodes. No, this is not for me, because this one I have not opened yet. Ugh. So this is the last thing I'm going to do, because I didn't want to stay on for too late tonight. So this I'll show, because this came in, but this is directly from the reseller. So this came to me from Helen Booty, the New England thrifter. So she was donating a box of things, and this will just be something that I would ask that you take into consideration. I will take all donations. I'll bring everybody else up while I'm opening this. I will take all donations, and everything is appreciated. However, this one happened to show how much the box cost to ship to me. So just keep it in consideration that yes, it is a donation, but if you are spending too much to mail it, maybe have multiple. Is that still Prince?
No, this is Charlie Brown.
Oh,
hey, Charlie.
Now
you had picked up Prince again. I'm like, wait, is she rotating them? Like, oh wait, no, that was still Prince.
Yeah, he's a chocolate piebald.
Oh, how darling. Hi, buddy.
Now is he your oldest?
No, Guinness is the oldest.
Who's the oldest?
Guinness.
Oh, okay. I'm going to mute myself really quick as I'm opening the plastic. So if you guys want to chat, you and Katie could talk about what's going on.
Oh, he's just adorable, Dawn. I love his little face.
He's about, I guess about 13. He's got some medical issues, so he's got to have medicine a couple times a day.
Oh. And do you have someone to give him the medicine during the day?
It's morning and evening, so.
Okay, that's easy.
Yeah. Yep.
That was actually something I wanted to talk about. So you guys could, if you wanted to talk a little bit, Dawn, because you and I had discussed it, is maybe doing something a little different this year as well. Is, some of the costs associated with some of the Dachshunds are extraordinary. And so one of the questions was, would we do something like you have an opportunity? Yeah, you could obviously buy the raffle, but if you wanted to do what happened in some cases last year where people would buy the item in the fundraiser, but then tell me to keep the item. They just wanted to donate the money, which was very gracious, but that meant I ended up with a whole bunch of stuff that legally wasn't mine. It was the fundraisers. So I then had to ship it all to Dawn so that she could put it in things like that. So one of the things that people that want to do, like just give more money or do things, we talked a little bit about doing something like a sponsorship. And so there's a couple of ways that we could do it. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, Dawn, and maybe we can brainstorm of a good way to do it.
Yeah, I actually, some doctor in California found me on Facebook or found my website. And he's a Dachshund lover. And so he sends me $50 every month. And he has it specifically for Prince and Charlie Brown because they're sanctuary dogs and they've had medical issues. So, but this right now I've got Oscar, who I just rescued, he's 40 pounds. He's a big dachshund, and he's got some medical issues. And then last year, before the fundraiser, I think we talked about it. Guinness was rescued with a Shiba Inu. They were both abandoned in the woods by their owner. And the Shiba Inu was adopted, but she had had breast cancer and some of her lumps have returned. So I had told her owners, I told her owners that, as long as the rescue has money, we'll help. So she's going to have some tests done, a biopsy and some x-rays. So between her and Oscar, we're looking at $1,500 just for tests, not treatment or anything. So there's always expenses for sure.
So one of the comments that came in came from Peterson saying, "Oh, that'd be great, sponsorship for a particular pup." Mm-hmm. Not to be me, but what happens when a pup is no longer with us? So would that for the doctor, and that doctor is fantastic. I agree with Classic Old Soul. The doctor is an angel. Is he going to withdraw his funding if something happens and there was a situational change?
Yeah, I would certainly email him and let him know, but I'm sure he would probably say, designate it for another dog. But yeah, I'd certainly, if anyone does sponsor a dog, I would keep them updated, send them a picture of their pup.
Because the other question, like keeping it from a broader perspective, and also because I think it is unreasonable, even the doctor's doing $50 a month, it's unreasonable to say someone's going to donate $1,500 to do the test. Mm-hmm. If you did something like, I can't even imagine how much food you go through. So is it possible to, do you have a donation that says, okay, we, between all, what are you at, 19 dogs now?
20. I got one yesterday.
You go through, $100 worth of food a day, $50 a day. Could you get a sponsorship of something like, thank you for paying for all the food for Tuesday the 12th, or something like that? Would that be a reasonable thing?
Yeah, I mean, I actually pay for all the food myself because, a bunch of the dogs are mine too. But things like heartworm preventative, I have a lady who's followed me since the beginning, and she sends me $5 a month, and times 12, that's a year's worth of HeartGuard. So she's providing heartworm medication for a dog for a year. So things like that, supplies, I just, Oscar, the big dog, none of the dog beds were big enough for him. So I had to order a big bed because he's not even that he's really not fat. He's just a big dachshund and he's really long. So I had to order him a bed that he could fit on.
Well, what about doing different tiers with a certain dog? So if you had a picture of each of the dogs and then people could choose the tier, like maybe one is just $5 for food, towards food, or a one-time donation for this medicine or something to that effect, and people could kind of choose. And then throughout the Doxie fundraiser, we could put the link to that in the chat.
And also, so the dog I got yesterday, I'll show you him. I think he's a wire hair mix. So I don't know if you can see him behind me. Can you see him?
Oh, there he is.
His name is Linus, and he was a stray at a shelter on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and he has some issues. So he came to me in a crate. He was somebody transported him to me yesterday, and he growled and was vicious. But as soon as he got out of the crate, he was fine. So I work with a local trainer who's going to come here Friday and evaluate him. So some of the dogs who aren't socialized, I can socialize them to an extent here with my own dogs, but sometimes I need a professional. So we pay for training too. So that's another option. And I don't have a GoFundMe, but I do have PayPal. Somebody was asking.
And then, so I'm glad you addressed that one. And then you had also mentioned, I think in maybe your chat with Katie, do you also do something with Amazon or something like that?
I have I need to update it. I have an Amazon wish list. Yep. Also, so the bed that I just got for Oscar, it's called a Karanda bed. and a lot of shelters around the country buy these. I mean, they're fantastic beds. They give the dogs a lot of support. They're easy to clean. And Kuranda, if you donate one to a rescue, they actually offer it at a discount. So I think I have a link on my website for my own wish list at Kuranda too.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And Katie just dropped your link. I was also going to drop your PayPal. So your PayPal it's paypal.me.
Yep. /JOMDR.
All right. So I just
That's what I thought it was, but I wanted to make sure before.
Yeah, there's always combinations, and I wasn't 100%. I wanted to ask. I did unearth. I still have one more thing I'm trying to unwrap, but I did find. So as would be expected by a reseller, New England thrifter, she did send me a lot of things. It was expensive to ship, but she included a lot of stuff in the box, and so I think that's an Afghan hound. Maybe. Beautiful, whatever he is.
Yeah, he's gorgeous. I don't know my dog breeds, admittedly, as well as I should.
Yeah, so that one is a made in Japan Brins. There's a salt and pepper shaker. I don't know what those are. Like, I don't think that's a Dachshund, but they sit upright.
Like Spot.
Or no, maybe they do sit like this. Oh, would that be a Dalmatian then?
What kind of dog was Spot? The little Spot dog from the book. Where is Spot?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe they are like an odd colored Dalmatian.
He kind of has jowls though, so I think he's like what is jowls? Like a Mastiff or I don't think he's a bulldog.
No, I don't think, because he's too long to be a bulldog.
Yeah, but he kind of like, you can see the way their faces are done. They're kind of like jowls.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a Basset Hound?
Yeah, I was
Or a
thinking
Beagle?
So yes, I mean I could see that, but Bassets have long tails, so that's another one that this is like. It looks like a short. So Jan is saying Beagles, classic old stuff. So also said Basset, and it could be. It's like a little bit like the Basset, but the tail is what's throwing me on that. So anyway, so that was a donation from New England thrifter. Also a beautiful, I think another that a Cocker Spaniel?
That's got to be a Spaniel of some kind, because look at the way the ears are.
Yeah. So just the coloration on that one is just great with the light in the chest. So this one, some of it's been covered up, so I can't tell if that's a marked piece, but that's beautiful. And then what I've been fighting with is the body to the cookie jar. So there's the tail. I'm going to unearth a dog cookie jar, but I'm struggling a little. So I'm going to give you guys back the full screen again, and let you guys chat some more. So what would make easiest for you if people did like a sponsorship or things like that? Like how would you like to see it?
Really anything. And I mean, it depends on how much, they want to sponsor. If they wanted to do a specific dog, I do have a couple of sanctuary dogs. I've got Guinness, Charlie Brown, and Prince. And then the other 4 dogs I have right now are Oscar, Spike, Finn, and Linus. Couldn't remember. Spike is a Chiweenie. Finn is actually not even a Dachshund. He's a Basset mix. And then Linus is, I think, a wire hair Dachshund mix. But whatever people want to do, I'm just happy for the donation.
Now, one of the things, PayPal, and this is just a general information for everybody, PayPal is changing its fees. And so I don't know if you get anything special because you're nonprofit, but at this point, there will be a 49-cent charge for every transaction, plus a 3.5% charge for the value of the transaction. So if somebody pays you monthly, you're going to incur, just with the per transaction, you're going to incur $7 worth of charges just with that. So would you rather see it as a one-time, or is monthly still okay?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think also it depends on if I know I do get a break because I'm a nonprofit, but I think too, like if you pay with a credit card, I pay the fee, but if it comes from your checking account, I don't think I pay any fee. So I think it just depends on how you pay too.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't even realize. I do remember now that you say that there were different things, or whether it was electronic. So for most of us as resellers, it's the fee that we will pay, regardless of how you pay. We are getting a slight discount because it is digital, but the fees are going up, and so it's one of those cases. This is just something for everyone. If they're, if you're in the chat watching it live, or you watch the replay, just keep that in mind. If you buy a $10 purchase, the fees break down to approximately 8 to 9% of the cost of that transaction is going to be eaten by the seller. So it is what it is. But,
can you split friends and family?
I can't, because of the way I send my invoices. I mean, that's an option, but I will also say I've gotten burned by I did get burned by a reseller who's like, oh, just do it as friends and family. And then I got stiffed, and I had no course of no course to follow it, because PayPal said, well, you said it was friends and family. So it's like, this is a dispute between your friend. And like, they knew it wasn't my friend. Like, so it was just, I had no recourse.
Well, and as a reseller, or as buying something from a reseller, I don't know that I would do friends and family either. But as far as the Dachshund fundraiser goes, I wonder if you could do it that way.
True.
Oh, that's cute.
I was successful. So this is why the box was so big that came from New England Thrifter. It's a McCoy dog cookie jar. Now, you have to kind of just suspend the fact that you're taking the cookies out of his butt. However, he is adorable. She said in the note that she wrote, she picked this up at Brimfield Antique Market. And she suggested that once everything recovers after COVID, we should do a YouTube meetup, reseller vintage community meetup at Brimfield. And that's about a 14-hour drive from me, but I would totally consider doing that. So thank you, Helen.
That is so perfect, as Proud Americans saying.
It's so cute. So cute. Now, I don't know. I don't know my McCoy markings. It says McCoy. It does have the copyright symbol 0272. So I'm not sure how old this one is, but I don't think it matters. I think
I have a planter, a cookie jar book. So I will look that up for you, Patrick.
Excellent. Yeah. So he's cute. So I have more. I just realized we bought more yesterday, and I forgot to bring that box in from the car. So not going to show I didn't get to show everything that we got, but I'll be showing stuff more. So this really I appreciate for those of you who hung out with me, hung out with all of us, because the idea really was to kind of throw out some ideas of how to handle the fundraiser, show some of the things that are coming up. Now, all the things that I showed will be part of the fundraiser. If there was anything that you like, you can buy it in advance, and I will just put that money aside and give it to the fund. Give it to Just One More Dachshund early, because what I'm trying to do, and this might be something we'll handle a little bit closer. I will start using the eBay to auction pieces. I might start doing that in October, because then I could actually start shipping in October. The part that was very difficult was everything had to ship after it all sold after the fundraiser. Plus, I was still trying to do my regular sales, and and I already had sales on Etsy and eBay, so I was selling through that. So my house, you couldn't enter it. Like there at one point, you couldn't. I was a fire hazard. I wouldn't be able to get out of the back door. So if I can spread it out a little bit, particularly if I get more donations, which last year was kind of like some people were just really generous, and I would just get things here and there. I think now more people know about it, that I'm anticipating based on what I've already received. I'm going to get a lot. So I might start doing some of it even earlier, but Dawn and I will sit down. We will figure out an actual date. It would most likely just be one of my Thursdays. I'll just give up my Thursday night slot and turn it into the fundraiser slot. So we will pick one of the first couple of weeks prior to Thanksgiving. So that will be the fundraiser, because then we want to also do some marketing, because Just One More Dachshund can benefit from Day of Giving, which is it the Monday or the Tuesday after Thanksgiving? think it's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. I think Monday is like the electronic day or something, and then Tuesday is the giving day. So want to get as much marketing out there. So appreciate. Hopefully I try to say hello to most people. And hey, Linda. I don't know if I caught everyone as they came in, but yeah, hope you had fun. This is just, like I said, something I kind of threw together because I need to start mentally planning. So I think we are going to do 5 mystery boxes will be the prize. It'll still be $5. So I do like the idea behind the 5 for 5. So $5 to get a chance to win 5 mystery boxes. I will update the description of this video. So it will include my friend mail address. But if you are interested in donating anything for it to sell, feel free to pull that up or pull any of my other videos. We'll have that. If you are interested in donating directly to Just One More Dachshund, you can do that as well. And of course, I've already lost. There it is. PayPal.me/JOMDR is her direct PayPal. Or I love the idea of the Amazon wish list. So, and then I think, Katie dropped the JOMDR, the spread the word link. So there's more information on there. And, if you really like, I don't know who her marketing person is, probably Dawn herself, but she knows how to write a page to make you want to give. I'm frankly crying.
I know.
I was frankly crying at the bottom of one of the pages. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? They're heartwarming and in some cases heart-rending stories. But anyway, so yes, I appreciate everyone hanging out, and got any questions, send them directly to Dawn through JOMDR, find them on her page. You can send to me and I can try and find her. You also have an Instagram, which is JOM.
I can't remember.
Doxie Rescue.
I think so. I think it is JOM Dachshund Rescue. And I want to say thank you to Annette. She sent a donation while we were live.
Oh, fantastic.
So sweet in that.
So let me just make sure. Yeah, so it's JOM Doxie. So DOXIE Rescue. JOM Doxie Rescue is her Instagram page. You're not like super active on that, but
no, I need to do that.
And she also has merch. So that's also something we will probably do, is try and promote some of her merch coming up to November, so everyone can get their merch. And maybe if you take a picture of yourself with your merch, it will get you on our Instagram page or something like that. We may also do a custom merch that promotes Trusty with the Dachshunds. So
that would be fun.
Or maybe something with Huck. So I've already talked to an artist to say, how could you draw Huck? Who is, for those who don't know my channel, Huck is basically a 25-pound chalkware plaster bobblehead of a basset. How do you draw it so it looks like he's still a inanimate object, but you draw the dachshunds so that they look like they're real? And the draw artist was like, "Are you crazy?" So we never figured that out. So we'll figure out something. We might do something fun just to have a way to make some fun money for the JOMDR. And thanks, Katie, for hanging out. This was just kind of a little thing while Katie was Clyde sitting. We appreciate. And then if for the more astute, realize that I might be doing some more live videos. StreamYard ran a promotion. I've upgraded my StreamYard channel, and so now I actually have my logo in the upper.
Oh yeah, you've got the page
instead of the duck. So I've got to figure out how to do the overlays and all that kind of stuff. I just bought it yesterday, so I did get my logo in place though, and I may have to change that because then anytime it was dark, you couldn't see my logo. So we'll see what ends up happening, but. Maybe doing more lives, and we'll see where that goes. So I did upgrade. Shout out to StreamYard. They ran a promotion, and I was sucked into it. So
I love
anyway.
StreamYard.
So who do we have now in the middle? Who do we have, Dawn?
This is Sherman. This is my own dog. Sherman has been under the weather. He's got an infection, and he's not eating very much. So
poor Sherman.
Yeah. He's my superstar.
Sherman, I think I saw you a few years ago on the Puppy Bowl, and I didn't even realize to the JOMDR, but you were definitely a star, buddy.
Yep.
And he would go to, I remember Dawn would share this, this might have been prior to technically the JOMDR. maybe not, but she would do a lot of stuff on her own page, and it was just like he had fans.
Oh,
You know, she had like,
still does. Yes.
yeah, like she had trading cards and magazines that he would sign, and you'd go to public events in the area. He was a little celebrity. So everyone is telling Sherman to feel better.
Yes,
So,
feel better, Sherman. We hope you get better really soon.
yeah. Absolutely. So again, thanks for everybody for hanging out with us tonight, and appreciate you giving us your time and putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. And shout out to Dawn and to Katie. Please follow both of them on Instagram and Katie on YouTube, and help everything you guys do for the community too. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
You.
Bye, friends.
Bye-bye.
Bye.